Hey guys, what's up? So in this video, as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about 5 key tips that will help you build your confidence. In order to succeed in life, I feel like confidence is one of the number one things that you need. So let's get into it. So I have the notes on my phone right here. It's charging, so that's why it's like all the way over here. But the first tip that I have for you guys is to accept yourself, be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses, and really prioritize identifying yourself. So what I mean by that is you need to accept not only your strengths but even your flaws. I think it's really important to make sure that you do accept some of those flaws, because it's okay. It's okay if you're a little stubborn, or it's okay if you're a little impatient or something like that, you know. And I'm talking about little flaws like that. I'm not talking about, like, you know, if you're like a psychopath, then you need to, you know, go see someone. If you are a compulsive liar, you might, yeah, you need to change that. Don't accept that flaw, okay? So I'm not talking about those type of things, but it's just little things. Like, for example, me, I think something that I have gotten a lot better at is my impulsiveness. So I can be a little impulsive, just with anything, like my actions, my words. I can be very, like, I won't think before I speak. I won't think before I act. I just act and I speak and I let you have it. And then, you know, later on I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that, you know? Overall, I feel like if you're aware of your weaknesses, then you are able to reflect and be like, oh, okay, you know what? I do notice I am a little bit impatient, or I am a little impulsive, or I'm a little bit, you know, this and that. And you try to be like, okay, how can I go about this situation without tapping into that side of me, you know? So because I encourage you to know your strengths and your weaknesses, then you're gonna be able to identify yourself and really get to know who you are as a person. Who are you besides your career? Who are you besides, you know, your partner? Who are you? Who are you? You know, what are your morals? What are your values? What are your principles? What do you stand for? You know, what do you dislike? What are your non-negotiables? What are your boundaries? You know, you got to know those things about yourself to be able to teach people how to treat you. The second tip that I have for you guys is to take responsibility for your behavior, your actions, and your happiness. So, a lot of people don't like to take accountability. If you are able to take responsibility for your actions, behavior, and your happiness, then again, that kind of goes into the number one tip that I gave you, which is to make sure that you know who you are. If you really think about it, let's say there's a situation where, you know, you weren't happy with someone, with something that they said, something that they did towards you or to you, you didn't like it. I mean, are you really going to be confident in them if they just always run away from taking accountability? They always avoid it, never want to have a civil conversation about the situation. They never want to talk about it. They always just throw it under the rug. I mean, think about it. You're not going to really be that confident in them. Another thing I forgot to mention when it comes to accepting yourself and your strengths and your weaknesses, that helps build confidence because you're not in conflict with yourself all the time. Things don't run smoothly when you're always conflicting with yourself. But when you learn to accept yourself and truly understand yourself, understand your triggers, understand, you know, your behavior, then you start to realize, okay, I'm not gonna fight with myself, but instead I'm gonna do things to help myself in order to be a better person. It's kind of like, think about it. I mean, do you want to be fighting with someone, like another person, like a friend, coworker, your partner? Like, do you want to be fighting with them all the time? No. So why would you want to be fighting with yourself all the time? Think about that. And I did also mention happiness because In my personal opinion, I feel that there are a lot of times where you can choose to be happy or you can choose to be miserable. You can choose to be sad, you can choose to be mad and stay that way for a long time, or you can kind of put that aside and be like, you know what, like I want to try to be happy. I want to try to show gratitude, be grateful for what I have right now, be grateful that I'm breathing, be grateful that I have a roof over my head and things like that. I know it's that part can kind of be a little hard, or not a little, very hard, especially for people who have depression or anxiety or anything of that nature. And I don't have depression, I don't have anxiety, so I can't fully understand that, or I can't fully, speak on that aspect or from that perspective. But again, I still stand by what I say, and I feel like that can be something that a lot of people don't want to accept, because a lot of people tend to blame other people or blame circumstances, and say like, oh, well, this is going on, so I have to be mad, and I'm gonna be mad at the world and stay mad and bitter and all these things. When it's like, don't get me wrong, not that that problem doesn't exist, because it does. However, I feel like something that's really important with life is learning to maneuver around those problems, rather than letting those problems control you and let it grow and grow and manifest into something that is to the point where it's too big to handle. But yeah, that's just my personal take on that part of what I was saying. Okay, so the third tip that I have for you is to live intentionally. Keep promises to yourself and others. Okay, so I've actually talked about this. I did like a story on this with Instagram. I think I did post it on TikTok. But either way, point is, I was basically saying that it is super important to keep promises to yourself and to other people, because if you don't, then you're kind of training your mind to not trust you. And it can go down to even the little things that you don't think are that important. It is. If you're always like, oh, I want to try that restaurant. Like, oh, that restaurant looks so cool. Like, I want to try it. That's fun. That sounds fun. But are you really going to do it? Yes or no? And it's not, oh, well, but this. No, it's a simple yes or no. You know what I mean? Like, don't say those things, because let's say if you never go to that restaurant, and then every time you pass by it, or every time someone else brings up the name of the restaurant, then in your mind you're like, oh, like I still haven't gone, like I really need to, like I really want to go, or or somehow you're just like, forget it, like it's been like I still won't go, like I'm just too busy or this and that. Then okay, then that's another empty promise that is now in your mind, probably in the back of your mind, and you don't notice it, you may not realize it, but you're teaching your mind to not trust you. And because you didn't keep that promise to yourself, any other thing that you want to do, anything that you say you'll do, your mind is going to be like, are you really going to do it? Because last time you said you were going to move out, but you didn't. Last time you said you were going to try that restaurant, you never did. What's next? Because you keep saying things, but you never follow through. And that's where your mind is going to go. So it's super important to keep promises to yourself and to other people too. And because we're talking about trusting yourself and being certain about yourself, let's look at the definition of confidence real quick. Okay, let's look. Where is it? I have it right here. Here it is. Okay. The definition of confidence: a feeling of self-assurance, okay, arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities and qualities. All right, here's another definition: the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, firm trust. Okay, the state of feeling certain about the truth of something. Do you see the pattern? So that kind of goes really well with this specific tip right here, because again, it talks about self-assurance, being certain about yourself, knowing who you are, trusting yourself. You don't have to be super hard on yourself about it, but what I am saying is you need to be aware, okay? You need to understand, okay, I tend to do this a lot. There's a pattern. Let me figure out a way to stop this pattern, to stop this trend that's happening. So, and again, awareness, right? Kind of goes back to the first tip that I said. Being aware of yourself, being aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. So the fourth tip that I have for you guys is to practice self-care to appreciate yourself and practice positive self-talk. Okay, so let's get into the self-care part first. The reason why I put that is because, like, for me personally, I like to get my eyebrows done and my toes done on the regular. Okay, as much as like those are usually like the two things like I try to maintain and stay consistent with. And it's not only for aesthetic reasons, it's also simply because I want to show appreciation for myself and for the hard work that I believe that I put in every single day. Just in general, anything that is self-care to you, go ahead and do it. I think that's another way to not be so hard on yourself and really take that time to be like, okay, I really need this. It would be nice to reward myself. And yeah, you guys, I think it's really easy to kind of look at those things and look at it as like errands. Like, you know, if someone asks you like, oh, what do you have to do today? Oh, girl, like I got errands. I gotta get my eyebrows done. I gotta get my nails done. Oh, and then I gotta do this. Then I gotta go to the bank. Like, okay, but again, it's really important to take that time for yourself. And while you're getting your eyebrows done, while you're getting your nails done or whatever it is, really sit there for a second in silence and really just think in your mind, like, I appreciate myself and this is a reward for myself. Like, really tap into it. At least for me personally, that's what I have to do. I have to like really take a step back and like ponder on it for me to do it, you know, because again, it's really easy to just look at it as like, okay, got this done, what do I have to do next, you know? And I also want to go into the positive self-talk. So words are very powerful, okay? If you still think that words are not powerful, I don't even know what to tell you, man. If you're constantly saying negative things, you're always thinking about the negative side of things, before something even happens, you're already thinking negatively, that's an issue, okay? That's something that I highly suggest that you work on. And if you keep having that type of mindset, then it is gonna be extremely hard for you to build that level of confidence that you might want. A good example of like negative self-talk, and it's something so, I think, so minor that a lot of people don't really realize it, but I hear it all the time, mainly from women. But let's say, you know, I'm talking to another woman, like we're just having a conversation, like, I don't know, just about like anything, right? And then, you know, at some point she might be like, oh my gosh, like I'm so stupid, like oh my gosh, like I'm so dumb, like this and that. Don't say that. You really need to be careful with what you're saying about yourself and what you tell other people, because if you keep saying that in front of people, they're gonna start to believe it too. They're gonna be like, yeah, you are kind of dumb. Or they're gonna start to think like, yeah, like, you know what, like now I think about it, you are this or you are that. So you really need to be careful, okay? And that's another thing too. If you're not confident in yourself, don't expect other people to be confident in you. Highly suggest you know, you start having more positive self-talk, and you know, just try your best to do it little by little every day. You know, something small like, hey, like I look beautiful today, or hey, like, you know, I put in a lot of work today, I'm so proud of myself, things like that. Okay, so the fifth and last tip that I have for you is to not compare yourself to others and don't take things personally. Okay, so let's kind of get into that. So that's like, I don't know, technically 2 tips, whatever, but like combine it. So don't compare yourself to other people. It's easier said than done. All of these tips that I'm giving you are easier said than done, okay? And it's gonna take time, but eventually you'll get there, okay? You have to try your best to not care about what other people think of you and what other people say about you. First of all, when you accept yourself, going back to the first tip, When you accept yourself and when you are aware of your behaviors, of your actions, when you take responsibility of your actions and behaviors and your happiness, when you know your strengths and your weaknesses, when you are sure of yourself, then honestly, I feel like you really do not care about what people think, because you know who you are and you don't need to prove yourself to other people. Like, there's no reason to please other people, to prove yourself, because they're gonna think whatever they want to think. If they have a narrative about you in their mind, they're gonna run with it no matter what you say, no matter what you do. So what's the point in proving yourself to them? With that also comes the idea of not taking things so personally. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, you can't expect everyone to like you. Not everyone's gonna like you. Some people are not gonna like you for the dumbest reason ever. Something that helped me not take things so personally is understanding that I'm only gonna stress over things that I can control. I'm not gonna stress over things that I cannot control. I cannot control what other people think about me. I cannot control what other people say. I cannot control other people's behaviors and their actions and all of that. And when you realize there are a lot of things you cannot control, life is just a lot more peaceful. It really is. It's more peaceful and more happy. You really have to be careful with seeking approval from other people. There's nothing wrong with asking someone about their opinion on some things. It really just depends what it is. I've learned to stop asking people their opinions for even the tiniest things, like, oh, what color nails should I get next? Or, oh, what outfit should I wear to this occasion or to that party or to whatever? Like, or just any little thing. I stopped asking people because I don't care about what they think. Respectfully, I don't care. If I want to wear a certain outfit, I'm gonna wear it. If I want to get a certain color on my nails, I'm gonna do it. If I like anything that I want to do, I will do it. Like, again, it all comes down to the definition of confidence. Being sure of yourself, being certain of yourself, and trusting yourself. If you can't trust yourself on picking an outfit for a specific occasion, like, how do you expect to build confidence? Like, really, really think about it that way. Really put things into perspective. Sit back and reflect on that so that you understand, like, oh, okay, like, yeah, like, I need to be able to trust myself with little things. That way, as I'm trying to build more and more confidence, I can progress to trusting myself with bigger decisions, more serious, life-changing decisions. So, yeah. Alright guys, so those are the 5 key tips that I have for you in order to build confidence. Again, it's gonna take time, okay? This is not something that's gonna happen overnight, not something that's gonna happen within a week, a month, even 2 months, maybe even 3. I mean, everyone's different, but I mean, confidence is just one of those things that it takes time, but when you finally start realizing that you are becoming more confident by the day, by the week, by the month, little by little, you're going to be so proud of yourself, and you're going to realize that it's very much needed. You know, it's very needed in life, you know, going through life, going through the motions, going through, you know, the high points and the low points. You need to have confidence. So, yeah, you guys, I hope that this video helped you out, because I do feel like a lot of people struggle with being confident in themselves. So I really wanted to make this video because of that. And yeah, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. That way you get notified every time I upload a brand new video. But yeah, I gotta go ahead and do some cardio. Okay. Make sure you get your cardio done. It's good for you, good for your cardiovascular system, good for your heart, all right? But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!